his son's mother. Cause
My son is 16, about to be
but
18.
he gonna be your son forever, and that's always gonna be his mom.
Yeah.
Listen, guys. Welcome to Little Black Men 91. We're talking to you guys, obviously, about Love Experiment episode 1, season 1. And on this episode, we're talking about red flag on the play because we had a date between Mars and was it Tewann? What I said one? Tewann? Oh man, I've been messed up people's names. But let me tell you this now. Look, I think it's Tewann. I want to be very honest. I understand why she called a red flag on the play. I understand. I'm not saying that I fully 100% agree, but I actually really do understand where she was coming from. She was saying red flag on a play because you have a relationship with your baby mother, which is abysmal. Like it's not a great relationship between you two. So from her estimation, she feels that's a red flag on her part because, like she just said, the kid will always have a mom and you don't have a relationship with her. It can cause sticky situations between if she was to come into that situation. There could be some sticky things that happen there as well. And I get it. But as I also understand what he's saying, the kid is 16. Like, he doesn't need to relate to the mum like that anymore. Like, yes, the kid will always need his mum, but he won't need to always be like in a deep relationship or good relationship per se in that way. I get it, but I see where her red flag comes from. We're going to go a little bit deeper into why it's a red flag and also talk a little bit about the background of Mars as well. Beautiful woman, by the way. Listen, I don't know what it is. When she smiles, God damn. I'm like, look at her. I'm like, Mars. I know they say men are from Mars, but baby, I'm trying to be okay. So anyway, listen. We're gonna talk a little bit more about I'm going to talk a little bit more about where she was coming from and also a little bit about her choices because she likes hood Negroes. Okay. All right. She likes the hood Negroes. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. If you're new to the channel, do me the massive favor. I want you to help us reach 100K subscribers. We are doing so well. You guys did amazing last month. We had over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. I want to come and replicate that again. I want to do more. And so I want you guys to like this live, share it, and subscribe to this channel. If you haven't already done so, click on that subscribe button and help us get to 100K. We'd love you to be part of the family as well. And if you haven't done so, join the membership. Yes, you can click on the membership down below. It's £1 or it's a dollar, and you can join the membership team. And we have lives every other week or every 3 weeks, whatever, where it's members only. We've got one this week as well coming up. It's going to be about coaching, about healing, having some real conversations as well. So hopefully you guys are ready. Make sure you guys, do that for me, okay? But for those of you returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated. Let's get into the video. Let's go a little bit more about this subject, okay? We're going to go from the very, very beginning because, Mars kind of let us in a little bit of an insight into her mind and how she kind of thinks. And I think it'll be a good basis to start breaking down what was happening on your screen.
Tewann and Terrell, they definitely remind me of guys that I dated in the past. Grills in their mouth, clean shaved head, beard. But seeing that the twins are therapists.
Now, she said they're definitely her type. The clean shaven, the grills in the mouth, etc. And I think she said it earlier on. I might have missed it. Yes, she likes street dudes, kind of aspect. That's her kind of thing. She likes that street dudes, and I'll play a clip for that in a second. So, but what she liked about those two is because they were therapists. It was something different to what she had usually gone for. So we got Mars trying to do something a little bit more different than what she usually does, which is fair play. But she let us insight into why she likes these street dudes. And let me give you a little example of why she likes these street dudes. She likes these street dudes because in reality, they provide confidence. They are protectors. They usually are providers, and they offer the thrill of dysfunction. And sometimes when you have lived in dysfunction, she told us that she grew up in a house where two parents are aside, two parents in separate households now. When you've lived in a place where dysfunction reigns, or you feel like there's some dysfunction that you've lived through, it can easily be a familiar energy to be with somebody who is into drugs or into crimes or whatever, because they bring that same dysfunctionality, that same how do we say it, infrequency. They give the randomness, You know, that's what I want to say. They give that randomness, and that can be a feeling that you might have experienced in your childhood where it wasn't consistency, it was quite random. And so you match the familiar energy with that guy, the protector aspect. You might have felt unprotected in the fact that you had two households. And so therefore, this guy who's a drug boss, drug lord, whatever, crime boss, whatever you want to say it, street dude, whatever, he offers this kind of protection, like, yo, babes, I got you. You know that no one can touch you. And it makes you feel good that somebody has your back and is covering you in such a way that you might have never really had before, as well. And also, then sometimes what happens as well is people grew up in kind of households that she might have grown up with separate households. You might have wanted somebody to save you, so you end up saving other people. So you choose these dudes because you want to save them, because you see them and you want to see beyond what they're doing right now, because you want somebody to see beyond what you do right now. You want someone to see beyond what you are right now. And so you issue the same behavior that you want, and you issue it for that kind of guy. So if she likes street dudes, they offer that thrill, that excitement as well. So that's not to be underestimated at all.
There we go.
Mars will choose her men next.
I'm used to dating a certain type of guy, street dudes that are just basically, they built on survival. Being in the streets, it brings nothing but pain.
See, so she likes these street dudes. That's her thing. She likes the street dudes. She likes her street dudes. She's not vexed about having the street dudes. But again, as she realized they are built on survival, and maybe because she was built on survival too. Survival recognized survival. Maybe you were surviving when it came to your childhood, and therefore you're surviving choosing these type of men. And it's interesting that you chose two twins who have that same aesthetic as you then later on said, which is the girls in the mouth and the clean cut shaven and that you are choosing the same type of people, but you chose in two, not in one. You chose twins. So there's a strong pull to want to be in that place. And I felt it was a mistake for her to choose the twins, because the twins are going to obviously be in competition. And, you don't want to pit them up against each other, trying to chase you. Like, it doesn't put you in a good stead. You know what I mean? You might have just not chosen any of those two. But I get it. They were your type, and so you chose them, right? I think the other thing, what was interesting as well, is that she noticed that they were both therapists, and she felt that maybe that could be something that she could explore. And here's the thing about therapists too. Sometimes as women, when they see men that have that counseling spirit, that therapeutical spirit, they also lean to those men too, because they also want to be healed. They choose these men because that man will be understanding, he'll be patient, he'll be caring, he'll be loving, and they have those traits in their mind. And they're like, I've been through so much, I need somebody who can do all those things. But actually, really, what you're really looking for is a therapist. Now, I'm not saying that's Mars. I'm just kind of giving an example for some people so they understand, right? So that was what I was looking at. I was like, oh, okay, maybe is it because she wanted to talk? Is it because she wanted healing herself that she chose these two boys? Or is it could have just been the fact that she likes that they do a job that's different to what she's used to? It could be, you know what I mean? The thing I said as a red flag for the young man, Tewann, that he got involved with, is the way he told his story. The young man, Tewann, good looking brother, by the way, very handsome, very well put together, well dressed. I love the fact that he can mix a bit of I saw what she liked, the street, but also kept the regalness and that, that kind of professionalism almost in a sense, right? But I want to play this part here because I felt like this is where he might have started going downhill.
She was murdered by my stepdad.
Wow.
Yeah, it sucks.
That's heartbreaking. I really.
For me, it's not necessarily just the story; it's the body language too. It's the hunch over kind of like talking, and he talks from here, he talks up from here. So like often when the person's looking at you, they're looking at you almost like you're hunched over like this and looking up. You're closing yourself off, and that usually talks about sadness and grief. Not as much confidence. So as much as you're telling me you're confident, this body language is not really giving me confidence. And so when he told the story, I was like, if you notice when Justin later on tells a story, and I don't know if I have a clip for that. I'll try and see if I can find a clip for that. When Justin tells his story, he tells it in a way, and then he actually comes out roundabout and goes, but you know what? That's inspired me to like start my mentorship. I'm down. So there's now a happy ending to the story. There's a change. So although the mum died as a grief, sad, but there's a positive aspect to it. So the other person who's receiving you, who just about now knows you, who just has now just come into contact with you for the first time, it's like, wow, what an inspiring story. You've overcome death and grief of your parents, and you've made something beautiful out of it. Amazing. I'm inspired. I like you. When he told the story, he said, hey, look, my mom passed away at 6, and yeah, I mean, she was killed by her stepdad. Yeah, I know, but don't worry about that. Yeah, everything's in the past. So then it's like there was no arc to say, like, hey, look, my mom passed early, and my mom passed early, and she was actually unfortunately killed by her stepdad. But it's really inspired me to make sure I do my work, and you know what I mean? Like I've done research, I've mentored people, I've done this, I've done that. It where's the positivity? And there isn't any, because after that, what he said, let me see if I can play it.
Don't even know what to say. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's
Sorry to hit you with that
it's
so
sorry.
early
It's
on.
real.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
But
real.
let's get that behind us. I feel like
He said, I'm so sorry that I had to hit you that early on, but he didn't need to hit her with that. So that was like interesting to see that. Why did he hit her with that information? Now, I'm not saying he's using it to manipulate or anything. I'm just saying that, why did you release that information? At that point in time, you could have said, my mom passed early, I moved on. We didn't see that with his twin brother. And maybe there wasn't much conversation. And maybe because he didn't go on a date, we didn't get to hear that. Maybe he told the same story. But Tewann told us that, so I was like, yeah, they're dampening the mood in the room. You just made the mood in the room somber. I've just met you, and you turned it so somber. Like, come on. And I'm not saying you can't tell your deep things that have happened to you, but once you said your mom passed, you could have left it there. And then later on, we were like, actually, my mom passed actually because, my stepdad actually killed my mom. And we had that conversation later on, but he started off real deep. Now, of course, Ma said she loved it, and I hear that. But it actually started to change. It actually started to fix the mood. You can't now say, well, let's just move past that now. Yeah, of course I want to move past it, but now I'm thinking about it. You get what I'm saying to you? So I was like, yeah, that information probably shouldn't have been released at that time. But he did apologize, right? Why? Because he knew that it was deep and heavy. And I want to show you Justin's kind of because he talks about his sibling passing as well. So let's just have a look at this as well, so you can have a look at this and you can understand where maybe I'm coming from when I say this. Okay.
No, I lost my brother to gun violence in 2012, and it's a lot of growth after that. We had to see the world different, grieve. Yeah. So I focus my energy more on the community and working with young.
Now, do you hear what he said there? Now it might be a bad cheap answer, who knows? But what it was like, he's like, hey, look, my brother passed away. That's why I've not been dating, but it's been a lot of growth since then. You know what I mean? I'm now looking after young mentors and mentoring young people that are inspirational. Whereas our other brother went deep, dark, and down. And that drags a person down. That can be a little bit frustrating. And I guess that's what led up to later on when we're talking, obviously, about the baby mother situation, where she says, if you don't have a connection with a baby mother, like, that's why she's sending him home. Red flag. And I get it. I do get it. Look at the body language again. Head down, hunched over, I just
3 months ago.
Okay.
Yep.
And how's the relationship now with his mom?
Nah, me and his mom don't talk about it.
He was like, when she asked him how the relationship was with the main mom, he was like, nah. And then he went, me and her don't talk at all. So it's definitely, obviously, a sore point. It's probably one of those points where it's like, I just need to get rid of her. She's annoying, whatever. But for her, when she's listening to it, she's like, hold on, I grew up in a household. I had a mom and a dad, but they were in separate homes. And I can't imagine them two not getting on, or not my dad asking how my mother is, whatever. Because maybe she saw a healthy co-parenting situation, right? But what she's viewing from his situation is that it's not very healthy then. If you can't have a relationship with her, then it's not very healthy. Why do you want me to come into it? Why do you want me to come into a relationship with you when you know your baby mother relationship is not healthy? I totally understand that. And I actually get the premise of where she was going for it. And I said, I put a stamp of approval as a red flag. Absolutely. It's fair. Okay? It's absolutely fair. So, yeah, that was interesting to see. But the gentleman might want to look into that a little bit, because I understand where she's coming from. But, she will definitely choose someone else, I'm guessing, for the date. And there'll be others that she can get to know as well better. But, hey, I'm going to leave it there. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Click on the bell button for notification of upload.